Attention Nikon Z9 owners, we've got a new firmware update for the Z9, Firmware 3.10. So I was actually out here this morning trying to test out the old firmware 3.01 in quite a heavy snowstorm. So it wasn't really a fair test, I'd say, but there I was, half asleep, and it was quite beautiful. But as I said, I don't think that it was a fair test, both from the point of view of it being in a snowstorm, and that's always tough for any autofocus system. You generally have to resort to grabbing the manual focus ring. And the other part about it was that I wasn't shooting in burst mode, but I was just testing it out to see how fast and accurate the autofocus was. So I've since performed the update to 3.1, and update I've actually shown in other videos, other firmware videos that I have, and maybe I'll link some of them at the end of this video. How to do that? It's really quite a simple matter of downloading the update, transferring that onto a card in the root folder, and then simply putting that card into the Z9 and going to the firmware and going through the update process. And it should be noted that firmware updates on the Z9, generally speaking, they take quite a while, usually around 6 minutes, but it's very important, as you're warned during the update process, not to turn the camera off during the update. Pretty straightforward. So what did 3.1 give us? Well, aside for support for the soon-to-be released at the end of March 85mm 1.2 lens, we also got improved focus accuracy for low contrast subjects during burst photography with wide area AFS, wide area AFL, wide area AFC1, wide area AFC2, 3D tracking, or auto area autofocus selected for autofocus area mode, and improved the frame advance rate during burst photography with optional flash units. I'm eager to try that out. So as I said, I didn't do any tests for burst photography. I just tested out the general acquisition. So now that I have the Z9 updated to 3.10, I can now do the same thing. However, in the time that it's taken me to do the update and set up out here, the conditions have changed quite a bit in that all the snow has fallen off the trees, and now we have anything but low contrast lighting. Anyway, I can still wave the camera around a little bit and do some tests. I'll do them the same. I'm not going to shoot in burst mode, but we can just you can see what the acquisition is like in these circumstances here. And yeah, I can see that, yeah, I can't really tell if it's any faster. It's very fast right now. And I should say that I've been using the Z9 now for going on a year, 11 months I think it is. And for the last 6 months I've been using this 400mm f4.5 VRS Z-mount lens. And I really haven't been that disappointed. In fact, I haven't been disappointed at all. I've been pretty enthusiastically happy with the performance of this lens as it is. So since I've had this lens, we've had 2 updates. 3.0 was a big update that improved focusing. And then also 3.01 also gave us improved focus in low contrast situations, and now 3.10 has further improved that. So I'll be interested to see, and I'll get back to you on what I think, if I notice any big changes, if that's noticeable. I'll get back to you on that. Nikon certainly hasn't disappointed those of us who invested in the Z9 when it comes to these firmware updates. Again, 3.0, actually 2.1 was a big jump. That was almost like giving us a new camera. 3.0 was huge. 3.01 was a small update, and again, this one is incremental as well. So I'm actually going to have to get out and shoot something, hopefully in low contrast light, like sport or wildlife, to really make a final decision and if I see any noticeable change. But I have something coming up again next weekend that will hopefully enable me to test that out. So I really don't have too much else to say other than I think Nikon is showing us that they're dedicated to the Z9. I know you Z6 and Z7 II owners, you wish something else would come along. And really, I don't know. I think I've said this before, whether that's possible with the X-Speed 6 processor. I think the X-Speed 7 processor is showing that there's lots of room for improvement. And we hope that that continues to improve, and we hope to see, of course, that processor perhaps in forthcoming cameras. And who knows when that will be. I suspect it'll be pretty soon we're going to hear something on that front. But yes, I don't have too much else to say about this little update, other than I'm happy to see Nikon continuing to push the envelope for this camera. So if you found this helpful in any way, please do give it the old thumbs up. And if this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell to keep up on my new content. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Cheers, and we'll see you later.